Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. If you clicked on this title you saw the thumbnail that caught your eye, then let me assure you, you are exactly where you need to be right now. This isn't just another video, it's a turning point. Have you ever felt that gnawing sensation, that heavy cloak of not good enough settling over you? That quiet whisper in your mind that says, what's the point? You'll just mess it up anyway. It's a feeling many of us know intimately, a secret burden we carry. You might be excelling in one area, but still, that feeling of overall failure persists, dimming every light. But what if I told you that feeling of failure isn't a sentence, but a signal, a raw, powerful indicator that you're on the cusp of a breakthrough, not a breakdown? What if the very struggles you face are the raw materials for your greatest triumphs? This isn't about ignoring your pain. It's about transmuting it into unstoppable power. This video will unlock the hidden code to your own self-sabotage and hand you the blueprints for a life where winning isn't just an aspiration, but a consistent reality. This isn't just a video. It's a transformation tool designed to speak directly to your soul. Consider this a mirror, reflecting not your perceived flaws, but your immense, untapped potential. You didn't just stumble upon this video, it was meant for you. Your inner voice knows it's time to shed the old narratives, to release the grip of past disappointments, and to step into the powerful, capable individual you were always meant to be. This isn't about external achievements alone. It's about conquering the internal battlefield, where true victory is forged. The question isn't if you failed, but how you've chosen to define those moments. Are they tombstones marking the end, or signposts guiding you to a better path? I promise to give you the key, not just to stop feeling like a failure, but to redefine success on your own terms, to unlock an unshakable inner resilience, and to cultivate a mindset where every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. And for those looking to sharpen their English, pay close attention to the powerful vocabulary and persuasive structures we'll use. They are tools for both life and language mastery. Let's begin. This is your first step to real power. Tip 1. Reframe your definition of failure. Most people view failure like a dead end, but what if it's actually a detour? We live in a world obsessed with success metrics, promotions, perfect relationships, ideal physiques, viral content. We're taught from a young age that failure is the opposite of success, something to be avoided at all costs. This ingrained fear often paralyzes us, stopping us from even attempting things where the outcome isn't guaranteed. We internalize setbacks, allowing them to define our entire identity, leading to that crushing feeling of being a failure as a person, rather than simply having an experience that didn't go as planned. Imagine you've been working on a passion project for months. Maybe it's writing a book, launching a small business, or training for a marathon. You pour your heart into it, only for it to fall flat. The book gets rejected, the business struggles, you get injured before the race. The immediate reaction is often, I failed. I'm not good enough. All that effort was wasted. The emotional weight of that perceived failure can be so heavy that it stops you from ever trying again. It feels personal, a judgment on your inherent worth. But here's the secret. Real control begins when you realize failure isn't an identity, it's an event. It's not a destination, it's information. The truth is, every single successful person you admire has a mountain of failures behind them. They just call them lessons, data points, or iterations. Did you know that Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before inventing the practical light bulb? His failures weren't proof he couldn't do it. They were steps on the path, telling him what didn't work. Start consciously separating the event from your identity. When something doesn't go your way, instead of saying, I failed, try saying, that attempt didn't yield the desired outcome, or I learned what not to do there. Actively seek out the lesson. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me about my approach, my strategy, or even my priorities? Every failure contains a hidden curriculum. For the next 7 days, consciously rephrase every failure you encounter, no matter how small, into a learning opportunity or a data point. Write it down. Physically separate the outcome from your self-worth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Ariana Huffington. Tip 2. Silence the inner critic with evidence. Is your inner voice a supportive coach or a relentless saboteur? For most, it's the latter, and it's time to fire it. We all have an inner critic, that insidious voice that whispers doubts, highlights imperfections, and magnifies mistakes. It's the voice that says, "You're not smart enough. You're too old. Who do you think you are?" This internal monologue can be far more damaging than any external criticism because it's constant, insidious, and often feels like the absolute truth. It keeps us small, fearful, and perpetually feeling inadequate, making us believe the failure narrative even when presented with evidence to the contrary. You get constructive feedback on a project at work, or a friend points out a minor flaw in your plan. Instead of taking it as an opportunity to improve, your inner critic immediately seizes it. "See, I told you weren't ready for this responsibility," it hisses. "Everyone else knows you're faking it." This voice distorts reality, turning a moment of learning into a confirmation of your deepest insecurities, leading you to believe that every slight misstep is proof of your inherent incompetence. But here's the secret. Your inner critic is often an echo chamber of past fears and insecurities, not a purveyor of present truth. It operates on emotion and ingrained negative patterns, not on factual evidence. Real control begins when you challenge that voice, not by fighting it head-on, but by presenting it with irrefutable proof of your capabilities and efforts. Did you know that the average human brain processes around 6,000 thoughts per day? Many of those are repetitive and negative, forming ingrained neural pathways unless actively challenged. When the inner critic flares up, don't argue with it. Interrogate it. Ask, "Is this truly a fact, or is it an opinion based on fear?" Then, actively search for evidence that contradicts its claims. List your past successes, your efforts, your resilience. If your critic says, "You always fail," counter with, "No, I successfully completed X, Y, and Z projects, and I learned a lot from A, B, and C experiences." Create a mental, or even physical, evidence file of your wins and learning moments. Next time your inner critic attacks, write down its exact statement. Then, write down at least 3 pieces of factual evidence from your life that directly refute it. Don't let it speak unopposed. The greatest battles are fought within the chambers of the mind. Tip 3. The compound effect of microactions. Feeling overwhelmed by the Everest of your goals. Maybe it's time to stop looking at the mountain and focus on the next step. When we feel like a failure, our goals often seem impossibly distant, shrouded in a fog of self-doubt. We set ambitious targets, start a business, learn a new skill, write a novel, but the sheer scale of these aspirations, coupled with our belief in our inadequacy, leads to analysis paralysis. We wait for the perfect moment, the surge of motivation, the grand idea, and in doing so, we do nothing at all. The feeling of being a failure is reinforced by the lack of progress, creating a vicious cycle. You dream of becoming financially independent, but the idea of saving thousands or investing seems like a monumental task you're not equipped for. You might download budgeting apps, read articles, but the gap between your current situation and your goal feels so vast that you never take the first small, consistent step. You tell yourself, it's not enough, so you don't save that $5, or you don't track that one expense. This inaction solidifies the feeling that you're incapable of achieving your goals. But here's the secret. Real control begins when you understand that monumental success is almost never built on monumental leaps, but on a series of tiny, consistent, almost insignificant actions. This is the compound effect at play. Just like a single penny doubled every day for a month becomes millions, a tiny, consistent daily effort compounds into significant results. Did you know that even the smallest, most mundane daily habits can dramatically change your brain structure over time, strengthening neural pathways associated with discipline and achievement? Think of the persistent dripping of water carving stone. Break down your biggest goals into the absolute smallest, most manageable daily or weekly actions. What's the one thing you can do today that moves you forward, even if it's just for 5 minutes? If you want to write a book, write 1 paragraph. If you want to get fit, do 5 push-ups. If you want to learn a language, learn 1 new word. The key is consistency, not intensity. The act of taking any action, no matter how small, sends a powerful message to your brain. I am capable. I am making progress. Identify 1 goal you've been procrastinating on. Break it down into an action so tiny it feels impossible not to do. Commit to doing that 1 micro-action every single day for the next 7 days. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Lao Tzu. Tip 4. Embrace the power of yet. If I can't as a wall, then I can't yet is a door waiting to be opened. When we're trapped in a failure mindset, our language often reflects it. We use definitive, self-limiting statements like, I'm not good at public speaking, I can't learn that new software, or I'll never be able to start my own business. These statements act as self-fulfilling prophecies, solidifying our perceived limitations and shutting down any possibility of growth or improvement. This fixed mindset keeps us stuck, reinforcing the belief that our abilities are static and unchangeable. You're asked to take on a new responsibility at work that requires a skill you don't currently possess. Immediately, the thought flashes, I can't do that. I don't know how. This belief isn't necessarily based on a lack of potential, but on a lack of current experience. However, by labeling yourself as incapable, you close yourself off from learning, from seeking help, and from growing into that capability, thereby fulfilling the initial I can't prophecy. But here's the secret. Real control begins when you understand the profound impact of your internal dialogue. By simply adding the word yet to your self-limiting statements, you transform a fixed mindset into a growth mindset. I'm not good at public speaking becomes I'm not good at public speaking yet. This tiny linguistic shift opens up a world of possibility, implying that skill, knowledge, and ability are things that can be developed over time. Did you know that our brains are incredibly plastic and can form new neural connections throughout our entire lives? This concept, called neuroplasticity, means that I can't is rarely a permanent state, but rather a temporary one. Become acutely aware of your self-talk. Every time you catch yourself saying or thinking a definitive I can't statement, pause. Consciously, deliberately, and with intention, add the word yet to the end of that sentence. It's a simple hack, but its psychological impact is immense. It reminds you that your current state is temporary, that improvement is possible, and that your journey is ongoing. It shifts your focus from a perceived deficiency to a future possibility. For the next week, keep a mental tally, or even a written one, of every time you use a self-limiting I can't phrase. Immediately correct it by adding yet. Witness how this small shift in language starts to shift your perspective. The power of yet is the power of growth. Carol S. Dweck. Tip 5. Celebrate your small victories loudly. We often wait for the grand slam to celebrate, but it's the home runs, the singles, and even the bunts that pave the way. When we're bogged down by feelings of failure, we tend to overlook or downplay any progress we make. We dismiss small achievements as insignificant, thinking, that's not enough, or anyone could have done that. This constant devaluation of our efforts prevents us from building momentum, from experiencing the positive reinforcement necessary to sustain motivation, and from ever truly feeling like a winner. We set the bar impossibly high, making genuine celebration rare and feeling good about ourselves even rarer. You've been trying to eat healthier, and for 3 days straight, you stuck to your meal plan, avoided processed snacks, and drank enough water. But then, on the 4th day, you slip up with a small indulgence. Instead of celebrating the 3 days of consistency, your inner critic pounces. See? You failed. You'll never stick to it. You discard all the good work, convinced that one minor deviation negates all your progress, and you plunge back into feeling like a failure. But here's the secret. Real control begins when you consciously acknowledge and celebrate every single step forward, no matter how tiny. Our brains are hardwired for reward. When we celebrate, we release dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. This creates a positive feedback loop, making us more likely to repeat the actions that led to that reward. Did you know that a significant portion of our brain's reward system evolved to reinforce behaviors essential for survival? But it can be hacked to reinforce positive habits too. By celebrating, you are actively wiring your brain for success. Make a conscious effort to identify and acknowledge your small wins. Did you stick to your micro-action today? Did you choose a healthier snack? Did you overcome procrastination for just 15 minutes? Did you give yourself grace after a setback? Acknowledge these moments. This doesn't require a parade. It can be a simple mental pat on the back, a quiet moment of gratitude, a journal entry, or even a fist pump. The key is to feel the success, to allow that positive emotion to register within you. Don't just dismiss it, validate your effort. At the end of each day for the next week, write down at least one small victory, effort, or learning you made, no matter how small. Take 30 seconds to truly appreciate yourself for that win. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. Bruce Lee, if you're still reading this, if you've absorbed these words and felt them resonate deep within you, then you are not a failure. You are a seeker, a survivor, a courageous soul actively seeking growth and transformation. I know life can feel heavy sometimes. I know the sting of disappointment, the ache of self-doubt, and the profound exhaustion that comes from battling your own inner demons. I know you might be carrying burdens no one else sees, striving for goals that seem perpetually out of reach, and sometimes you just want to give up. But I'm here to tell you, with every fiber of my being, everything will be okay. Everything can be okay. You are not defined by your past missteps. You are defined by your relentless spirit, your capacity to learn, and your unwavering desire to become more. Whether your goal is to build a thriving career, cultivate loving relationships, achieve financial freedom, master a new skill, overcome a personal challenge, or simply wake up feeling genuinely happy, you have the power within you to achieve it. I believe in you, even if no one else does, even if you sometimes struggle to believe in yourself. Your journey is unique, your path is your own, and every stumble is simply a part of the grand adventure of becoming. This isn't about overnight miracles. It's about persistent, compassionate effort. It's about showing up for yourself, day after day, choosing progress over perfection. Now, I ask you to make a promise. Not to me, but to yourself. Promise that you will commit to trying these habits. Promise that you will challenge your inner critic. Promise that you will celebrate every tiny win. Promise that you will embrace the power of yet. Promise that you will redefine your relationship with failure. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep loving yourself through every step of this incredible journey. You are capable of far more than you can imagine. Try these habits for 7 days and share your results in the comments below. Your journey might just inspire someone else.